guys, the Curious Owl here, and welcome back to another Top 5 Wednesday video. So this week's Top 5 Wednesday is dealing with road trip books. So this basically is talking about books that involve road trips. Now, I don't have any books that specifically talk about like road trips as in like fun, contemporary, fun times, haha, tee hee ho ho. But I basically picked 5 books that involve some kind of travel or really extensive travel for that matter, that I thought were, cool to fit within this Top 5 Wednesday because they all involve, traveling and stuff like that, as the summer is a really big time for people to travel and enjoy new places and go to experience new things. And so these are the 5 books that I could think of that involve some kind of travel that I thought would be fun to talk about. So these are actually going to be in a order of being from number 5, my least favorite, to 1, my favorite when it comes to books about travel. And the first one is my least favorite, being The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants by Amber Shares. I just filmed a review for this if you'd like to check it out. This is not a really great book. This is a book that does not age well, but it does deal with 4 best friends who basically find this pair of pants that all somehow seem to fit them, and they use it as a way to stay in touch with each other over the course of the summer, as this is their first summer being apart from each other, as one girl is going off to visit her father, one is going off to visit her grandparents in Greece, another is going off to a big soccer camp in Mexico, and the final one is staying at home to work a summer job and take care of her younger siblings. This was okay. Like, it was definitely way worse than I had anticipated. It is a book that did not age well, and if you want my more in-depth thoughts on it, I would check the review because I've spent enough time today rambling about this book and I don't really want to talk about it much anymore. Next is Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. This is a high fantasy novel dealing with a young girl named Mariko who is moving on to essentially be married off to an emperor's son, but then her caravan is attacked when she is on the trail to the kingdom, and then essentially decides to pull a Mulan and disguise herself as a young man to find and infiltrate the Black Clan, who she suspects is what attacked her, and try to find out why they attacked her and what is in store for her if they find her as a woman as opposed to a man. Now, this doesn't really have any true road trip-esque things about it, but the thing is that this does include traveling because Mariko, like I said, is supposed to be going from her home to the Empire and has to go through this place called the Jukai Forest, which is where she's attacked, and then she has to travel to be able to meet with the Black Clan and infiltrate them while living in the Jukai Forest in order to find out what is going on and why they have attacked her and what is their purpose with her and things of that nature. So it does involve a little bit of travel, and overall I kind of liked this book enough to where I would want to read the second one, but I feel like it had let me down a lot. I also have a review for this one if you'd like to go check it out, as I read it in June, and it was, like I said, it was okay. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it had some problems that I wish would have been addressed, but, it's okay. Next is one I didn't really expect to put in here, but I did, and it's kind of funny for me because I read this whole thing in school, and I think this is the ultimate road trip if you would agree with me if you've read this yourself, but it is The Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri. This is a very, very old story. This is like 13th century story dealing with a man named Dante who essentially has to go down into the depths of hell and essentially rise back up all the way through purgatory and then heaven. The Divine Comedy basically is split into 3 parts, where there is the Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso, otherwise known as Hell, Purgatory, and Heaven. Dante, the main character, essentially is a pilgrim that is sent to go on this pilgrimage to go through the depths of hell, through purgatory, and up through the tops of heaven in order to essentially obtain some kind of salvation. Overall, it wasn't too bad. I really, really enjoyed it for the most part, but this, I would say, is the ultimate road trip because Dante literally goes from hell and back to go on this trip. Coming in at number 2 is the first book in the Dorothy Must Die series, Dorothy Must Die by Daniel Page. This is basically a retelling of The Wizard of Oz, except it deals with a girl named Amy Gum who essentially is taken to Oz through this tornado and is told that Dorothy has essentially taken over Oz and has become a ruthless leader, and she is the only one who is able to stop her and put things back in order. This is a road trip story because literally Amy is swept up by a tornado from her hometown in Kansas all the way to Oz, just like Dorothy was. And so that's, I think, a pretty epic road trip. And finally, my favorite book that deals with any kind of road trip or travel is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. This deals with a boy who essentially watches his grandfather be eaten by some kind of monster, and in order to get some questions answered, he goes off to this place in London where he finds this old home and is transported back to 1945, I believe, somewhere during World War II, basically, and meets all of these people called the Peculiar Children. They are all children that have some kind of magical abilities, whether that is being invisible or floating or having bees attracted to them or something like that. So there you guys go. Those are the 5 books that I can think of that involve some kind of road trip or travel. I kind of had to cheat with this one because I literally have no books that talk about anything involving some kind of road trip. But thank you guys so much for joining me in this video. If you guys did enjoy it somehow, please do give it a big thumbs up. And if you're not already and you'd like to be, hit that button down below and subscribe to become an owlet in our flock. And I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.